I just ran away from the current location just to discuss a few topics of involved that involves hypotheticals and actually some degree of fact-based information. For example, people that family members and various relationships. Yep. So a few names, I don't need to name drop. I do want to mention Mr. S. if that's okay. But we don't know if he's accessed the channel and if he's able to see any of the live streams. And we just want to reiterate that if we see him in the geographic area, that this is not what I look like. But we don't know enough about what life has been prior to this past month, if that's the best way to say that, or this past 4 weeks. And the same for Mr. J. Lauterbach. So hypothetically speaking, both are two of me and my husband's biological older brothers that were raised here. Another name is Mr. C. McGill, not Mrs. L. McGill. McGill. So my biological mother and Mr. C. McGill look like twins, except for height and body composition. That's the best way to say that. Mr. C. McGill is not a sibling, correct? But looks like mom. And so that's that. Mr. SD had some sort of romantic relationship for almost a decade, and we don't know exactly what that was about. And we have cousins through dad, one, hypothetically speaking, was married, and then may or may not have been children, whether or not they're biologically his. And for Mr. J. Lauterbach, Dad Lauterbach, we don't have enough information. But these are hypotheticals. We have to ensure that every facet of this ongoing narrative is documented, and that we want discretion and discernment, so we've been documenting privately, and then we learned that we had reason to suppose that there was illegal access, illegal downloading, so that's why we had to create public record. So the risk associated with this and how this had endangered life safety was a lot. The next topic is the local private swim club, and one of the former employees who was not an original member, and we say that with the utmost respect, although people that are the original members of that private swim club might be a bit better say why that would be mentioned with the most utmost respect is sentiment. Because a very significant pillar in the intergenerational community here, or at least that was the interpretation. Sometimes youth go to summer camps, and for whatever reason, this geographic location is very unique. Even different than like Germantown or Mary, like other historic neighborhoods in the city of the Commonwealth. We don't know if it's associated with close geographic proximity to universities. Here we don't know. Old City, Pennsylvania. But there was a woman who was a churchgoer that worked at the front desk who had a daughter that one of my other older brothers, who didn't, none of these men that I mentioned knew that they hypothetically kidnapped, but then somehow ended up back with their dads, which has happened me and my husband knew about 10 to 15% of our actual biological older brothers, maybe around 14. And at some point they were reunified with their dads. Some of them told me to know explicitly what was going on. Others were learning, maybe were not. Like there are many of our biological brothers here in this commonwealth, hypothetically speaking. So the lady, there was a respectable, very respectable, esteemed woman that worked the front desk after Miss Alice, who is Mr. C. McGill's biological mother, and Miss Jeannie, who is Mr. Jordan's biological mother. And they went to a local church that a lot of the people that a Roman Catholic church in the neighborhood, and a lot of those church, a lot of the congregation went to this home club. Some of our cousins went to that church. They were altar servers in the United States Naval Academy. They went to the local elementary school and the local high school, if that's okay to mention. The woman that worked at the desk after Miss Alice, Miss Alice has a name, Miss Beth, and her sister, Miss Jeannie, they were of a sibling of 7, hypothetically speaking. And their biological dad was related to Kathy Richards, hypothetically. We don't have exact confirmation. He hypothetically had been married and then started a new family. Him or his brother were completely different situations, very similar family system of grouping, like number of children, characteristics and attributes as well as, I don't know, just hypotheticals. So the woman after Miss Alice and Miss Beth who had worked at that front desk at that private swim club for years, Miss Ethel, hypothetically, if it's okay to mention her, and she's married and was very much about going to church, and then there was a hypothetical situation. We focus on neurology and psychology and modernization of the segments to what's called and hypothetically there's a church organization that uses psychedelics to try to scare people or help people mature and pretty severe whatever they do, and they hypothetically did that led to no longer being part of that community. Hypothetically speaking, with the utmost respect, until we have verification for safety reasons, we have to document so that we can go step by step to expedite moving to the formality. She has one daughter who has maybe 2 biological children, one from a marriage, one biological boy, and originally a biological girl that was out of wedlock. And there was controversy about that for many reasons. And so, not just illegitimate child, but the way, not test tube baby, right? But kind of like Carolyn's situation. I mean, not at all like Carolyn's situation where Carolyn's like 8 years old. She was implementing like hypothetically a gene regulation program which would involve some sort of mutual fertilization. She would not have known that reproductive fluids were stolen without consent, right? So this is hypothetically how a certain illegitimate grandchild or just was conceived. And then stayed at the church organization that poisons people. So the concern for retribution and retaliation was severe. The motive for why this was or wasn't done was unclear, right? There could have been various motives, and how to create boundaries to ensure that there would be no additional breaches of a boundary was of significant concern. This respectful woman who worked at the front desk was incapacitated for about 4 weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks. So no consent, and I don't even know exactly this was found out, but then they had to address the situation and they could not confirm that they would not do that to her again. So all of her, very avid churchgoer, and her faith wasn't shattered, but I mean, I wouldn't say disheartened, but just stunned and terrified. So I don't know if there were police reports. I don't know if this was not like a commercial church organization where there was corporate financing and steep ties, if that's the best way to say that. But then when she learned that the illegitimate grandchildren was possibly like the kinds of responsibilities, there was no psych team, no team associated with this, positions, the ethics of not just code of conduct, but board certification and eventually the positions that would be needed. People have to consent. There were many concerns, but a group of people in the parish were younger people who converged with some of the agents. This was like the tip of the iceberg, hypothetically speaking, if I'm recalling correctly. Now, distinguishing a schizo from being first, second, or third person witness is really important. So that kind of like parallel existence of what goes on in stories and you just never know the kind of recreational activities people get into. But recreational is different than cult. Code of conduct of cult, right? Or a terrorist group, where people that are I don't want to say mob or gang violence, because people that live certain lifestyles actually could be extremely ethical, whereas some people are just unreasonable and nonsensical, and are really, really dangerous. So one of those, that illegitimate, hypothetically speaking, that illegitimate grandchild works in a cafe, and Miss Ethel's husband, at some point, if I'm recalling correctly how I have this exact information, I'm not certain, worked for Lady Liberty, and had access to the building that we need to verify if there was a mortgage paid on because it was built illegally. So we need to know for emergency sheltering purposes. Who exactly is if someone paid a mortgage on physical structure, then they're the owner. But if it was built illegally, then we have to get that off our property, or we have to demolish the building and decide if we're rebuilding the land or not, or if there's no asbestos or toxic medical waste dumping, poisonous substances like arsenic or asbestos. We have to figure out what we're doing with that to optimize what's available at this time during a severe, fragile, crucial time. So there's two Carters, and one of the Carters is an illegitimate grandchild. She goes by the name Chi. Goes by the name Cash, and seems to have begun to participate in gender reassignment, either hormone therapy or actual surgery. We actually had, I suppose, two different perspectives where Alex Davis, if that's okay to mention him, I don't know if he's non-binary or transgender, I don't know, but he was part of like Jesse and Frankie's friend group, and Mr. Dean and Mr. Lauderback, the juniors, I guess, best way to say that, would have, even though they're older, would have been aware, possibly at however many degrees of separation, like a regular swim club goers, even though they maybe hardly ever interacted with them because they were different chronological ages. And like when those girls would have been 12, they would have been like 16, between 16 and like 20, 21 years old. So they wouldn't have been spending time. They wouldn't have been spending time together if they were at the swim club. And Alex gave us knew there's a grandson that everyone at this hotel is familiar with. He's a second child. But there was a girl named Carter who somebody had mentioned something about gender identity. This just, as per the grandmother, seemed like such, because the young lady was struggling with the fact that how she was brought into existence, the like not consented. The guy that didn't want to give his sperm as a donation did not want the child because there was no consent. And so tough situation, but the grandmother had spoken to the child's mother about it. And it was just a tough situation. Mind my business, but that illegitimate child is causing problems and is not the other Carter that works at the cafe. There's two, and they worked at a different location. And hypothetically, one or both left the previous location with like maybe a third staff member because they didn't want to work with whoever was or still is the manager that transferred there, who had not worked there, who went by the first name, like self-disclosed. Her name was Whitney. So nobody wanted to work with her. But Whitney and Carter, that goes by the nickname Cash, maybe had some sort of relationship, didn't work out, or Carter and Cash both didn't like Whitney. But it seems that unfortunately Cash might, until there's evidence, might be causing problems. Yeah, so Whitney brought the woman that appears to be racially brown, who might try to claim she's yellow, but I don't know. I don't know. It's up to people to decide. At some point, there has to be a line that's drawn. Stephanie had walked in after hours with a hoodie on, and that's why we didn't want that to be brought to attention. There's an older woman who appears to be racially brown or black. I don't know her name, but she seems to artificially color her hair bright, and she might have a sister who I've seen around in the neighborhood. And Miss C. Richards was a camp counselor like 20 years ago and was compared to those girls that are separate. They're not twins. They would lie and say they were twins. And she was livid, if that's the best vocabulary word, because apparently one or both are clinically not stable. And Miss C. Richards might actually be related to us. Has two biological brothers and a brother that was adopted, but is still part of the family. So, Whitney onboarded that staff member, and we don't really know why, but something's going on, and it's the girl that's brown or black with gray hair that tells Whitney to try to punish me. But they both tried to punish me. It's not just like one or the other. They seem to work in tandem, but that's the best way to say that. And then there's Colin. And there's another guy, it's okay to mention, that is not Colin, but they look completely different. You didn't know them, maybe you would. There's a few men on campus that look kind of similar if they're not all lined up, even though they look really different. Mainly because of complexion and hair color, not hair texture, and not actual body composition. All that similar stuff over there. So Colin is actually our nephew, And I don't recall my our other nephew's name at this time. And my older brother named Nick Jr. But then there's Mr. Koros, Mr. and Mrs. Koros. So just one step at a time, right? We've never been introduced to Cash, but Frankie's sister, they have interviewed at the cafe, and maybe Whitney had offered her a job. I remember saying something like, I don't want to be responsible for handling the drinks or making drinks. I was concerned about that. But that would have had to have been within 7 months. Although we were actively looking for employment, we had no other information available to us. That was all that. And then at some point, though, recalled. So there was something that I would not have known. What is that? Cash, Carter, or strangers. We actually know Carter, Carter's older brother. But then there's a situation with Miss E. Hemingway, right? So we don't want to be disrespectful. We don't want to slander. We don't want to pay, but we can't. There's too much of it.